Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday the 13th of January 2020. Thank you for joining me. I'm using the Mystical Tarot for today's reading. And let us have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of and what the energy is going to be about and how you can use that energy to your advantage. So, have a look. Oh. Right, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles, and I don't know what this is. This is the King of Cups. And yikes. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles. All right, so the Ace of Pentacles, you can see, is pretty straightforward. It's the universe giving you a gift. And Pentacles has to do with the physical world and creating beauty in the physical world. Like these gardens, they need a lot of tending to, and that requires money. So you need gardeners and people who put the grass down and who trim the hedges and feed the pheasants. And you've got the Capricorn / Ram, Aries, up there in the clouds. And it says that you're only going to get to a position of security and wealth and having all of the things that you want. So you listen to your own feelings. See that vase there? Represents water. So even the Ace of Discs in this deck recognizes that they come from these abilities that you have. They come from somewhere inside of you, from your, you know, when you look at the clouds and you see a ram, that's your imagination at work. It comes from that watery place of imagination you've got inside of you. And that's something essential, because unless you can see this garden with the beautiful pheasant on top of the archway in your mind's eye, you're not going to be able to build it once you have the money to actually build it, right? So this card is saying it's okay to dream, it's okay to hope, because you will be given the ways and means to make your hopes come true, and you're being given a gift, an opportunity by the universe today to get one of the things that you've always wanted in life. Now, the next card, it looks weirdly Cthulhu alien-esque to me. I don't like it at all. Patterns, I've had this weird thing with there's certain patterns that I can look at that make me feel physically ill. I think it's something to do with OCD or something. Like, I mean, this doesn't do it, but there's certain patterns you look and it's like, oh. So these horses, I think it's supposed to be, they're like, you know, to be honest, I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. We've got these two horses. Are they connected to all of this junk at the back? Okay, so, this is so gross, this card. Does this mean that some giant umbilical cord is connecting him to the eternal gross love of the universe via some sort of weird spiritual umbilical cord? Yuck. So yes, that's what the King of Cups, I don't want to look at him anymore, I'm sorry, but the King of Cups is supposed to be a man who's the ideal father figure. Yes, he is connected to the universe. Yes, he has universal love, and he's very nurturing, and he's very patient, and he's very kind, and he's very loving. So instead of turning around upside down today, it's actually arrived in a way that is so repellent that you don't even want to look at it. So what you're interested in is not in the emotional and how I can take care of my uncle who lives on another continent, and it's his birthday, I'm going to send him a card, and all these emotional like considerations that you've got, which the King of Cups would usually make sure that you dealt with and faced. And usually he's like the ideal boyfriend. But today, I don't want anything to do with this. And I believe in the law of attraction, that I choose the right deck and the right cards every time I do a reading. So I chose this reading for these cards for a reason today. And I've never seen such a gross King of Cups. And I don't know if you're grossed out, but I am. So because I'm reading this, I'm turning it around. And the way I interpret that is you're not interested in feelings, you're interested in money and work and being like this guy. Getting to a place of security where you can look tired and just pet the dog and let the others get on with the work and the getting pregnant and the hunting and building weird towers. Also Aries. So, even though your own feelings and emotions may seem abhorrent to you, maybe you're really pissed off with yourself today. Maybe you're just feeling disgusted about something. Maybe you've had a horrible blazing row with someone over the weekend and you're just emotionally not quite with it. The cards are saying, one, either you're not emotionally with it, or two, you're emotionally disconnected, or three, in the worst case, you've had a negative emotional experience and you're making the decision today to turn your feelings off. Now, remember that when you turn one of the sides of yourself off, so let's say trust. I'm never going to trust anyone ever again. When you turn that off, you build a wall between you and yourself, between other people. Let me say that again. You build a wall between yourself and other people because you've made a decision that I need to keep them at arm's length because I don't trust them. So let's put some boundary, some barrier in place. When you do that, unfortunately, it just doesn't stay in the one area. It doesn't just stay in the area of trust. It goes all the way around. And it's now love. Other people can't love me and I can't love them. And it expands into other things. And one faulty belief sprouts into lots of other faulty beliefs that then leave you isolated. So one of those three options are there emotionally. And the clouds and the rams in the heavens, they kind of confirm that you can't do all of these wonderful physical achievements. You can't build Rome by yourself if you don't listen to your feelings and your desires and your thoughts and all of the things that motivate you and get you to have this great wealth and abundance in the first place. That doesn't come from, it doesn't come from going up to him and saying, oh, hello, sir. I noticed you were just petting your dog. You look rather bored. Please give me a job so that I can build your next funky tower. And that's what I'd like to do. I've got no qualifications, but I know you're the richest man in town and you seem rather dull at this point. And I bet you'll just give me a job because you're just so tedious and tired and bored with it all at this point that you won't care. I'm sure I can promise you that this guy, even though he seems kind of chill, he got his wealth by doing it himself. So he's not going to say, oh, of course you can have a job. Yes, I'll give you a free ride because I did this all myself. And now absolutely everyone in my life, I just take care of and I'm so generous and I will give you all my money. That's not real. And it's also not real in the real world. People, older guys, whenever I've gone to like family homes and things, there's always that one older guy who says, I came to this country by myself with $20 in my pocket and I did it all myself. And it's like, well, how do you think anyone else did it, genius? Well, unless you are, of some really old family, but that these days, it doesn't really happen. I think most people these days are kind of middle class and most people have to work for a living. That's just the way it is. And that I have discovered is not by trying to get into some institution where you hope some guy in charge is going to give you a break and you'll get the chance to build something. I'm being cynical and I'm making that fun of that belief. But I actually had that belief for a very long time. I was told to get degrees and to get proper jobs. And I did that. I got degrees and I worked in what you would call conventional jobs. But they never made me happy, nor did they make me finances. Nor did any of these guys, these tired 50, 60, 70-year-old white guys ever look at me and say, oh, there's something promising. That's who I want to be my successor. That's someone I want to promote and give more money to. No one ever said that. And I'm sure there are some people who go to those guys and will be taken under the wing and will be supported. But that's not the point of this reading. The point of the reading is that instead of going to the world of other men, of other women, of other people, of the bank and borrowing money, instead of going to that bank, go to the bank of self, even though it looks like an umbilical cord at times and it's not the most pleasant thing in the world. Go to the inner bank of self. This is the king after all, so he does deserve some respect. Go to the inner self, and that gives you this little emotional piece of information, which becomes a whole nother element by evaporating and turning into air. And it gives you great ideas that you can turn into practical things today, so that you don't need to ask permission, or that you don't need to ask, can I get an opportunity to? You can just grab the opportunity and do it yourself. Okay? So don't look at what others can do for you. Look at what you can add to other people's lives today. So turn it around like that, and you'll really have a great day in either the area of your work, your daily life, and your daily routine. That can be with family and financial ups and downs. It can be your career, a promotion. It can be a new job. It can be a different job. It can also have to do with your physical health. So by having a new idea and having something to look forward to, obviously is going to improve your health, because then you have something to look forward to. And that immediately reinvigorates the spirit. You know, if you have nothing to look forward to ever and everything is hopeless and bleak, then what am I going to ram against if there is no door? You need a door, otherwise there's no point of a ram. So there are still doors which you haven't gone through. Look at this final card. It's a door card, and so is this. So if you're able to walk through these doorways, is the universe is saying, by facing all of the truths about you. And that's what the eclipse was about last week. And by accepting all of that and going with it, then you can really achieve fulfillment. You don't have to become him. You can achieve your success and still be these people. You can still enjoy your success rather than be jaded or tired out by it. But only if you do the kind of thing that comes from your giant spiritual umbilical cord, not from someone else's. Because each one has to work with this giant, disgusting umbilical cord. You're being fed things from the universe that other people aren't being fed. So you can only do what you're good at, not what someone else is good at. That's why you can't ever pretend to be someone else. You've got to be genuine. Like when you see this online, like some people say, like, there's an example that we spoke about. Like, let's say someone does things in a certain way online and he has a certain catchphrase, and then someone comes along and just tweaks that catchphrase a little bit and does exactly the same thing, but just basically steals their idea. That second person, one, isn't going to do well because it's not their path, it's someone else, and they're not being themselves. They're trying to be someone else, and you can't win when you're someone else. You've got to be you, and you've got to accept you. That's the only way to win. And most people, I guess, don't hate themselves or don't have such a hard time accepting themselves because there's nothing to hate. Most people get validation throughout most of their lives. Oh, good girl, and oh, good boy, you kicked a goal into the football net, and you know, good teenager, you got an A on your whatever. Whatever these things that society validates us with, don't worry about that so much. Look at what validates you emotionally. Walk through that door, realize that it's your right to break barriers and to move ahead. And that if you want to make a name for yourself and you want to get somewhere in life, today's the day to do it. Number-wise, we've got a chord card, which is 1, another one, which is 2, and 10, that's 12. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 is about new beginnings, so walking through these doorways, and the way you think. So these rams. So feel what you're feeling. That will give you ideas of what you can actually do. Implement the ideas into the practical. So put the brick on top of the other brick, or enroll in the class and start making notes and listening to the teacher, or do the online tests or the exam or whatever it may be. Take the exam so you can go up a notch, a level. Anything that has to do with your money, your work, your daily routine. So moving house as well, and also finding the best place to live, and your physical health. So looking at the way you eat, how you eat, all of those things are up for discussion today, and you can have great ideas to improve them. But the ideas don't come from other people. So it's not your wife saying, hey, honey, you've got high cholesterol. I don't think you should eat 20 eggs a day. It's your idea. It's like, oh, I've got this cholesterol problem. Maybe I'll try this. And listen to that. And it's, even though the wife has a really good point there saying don't eat all the eggs. Yes, don't eat all the eggs. But if you also look at what your body is telling you, you will get a sense of, actually, I don't need this. What does my body actually feel like eating? Most of us don't do this, but if you have 3 meals a day, just ask yourself, next time you're going through a day, do I actually need this meal? Am I hungry? Most of us are just conditioned to just eat 3 times a day. If you skip a meal, you realize, oh, I didn't need it. Anyway, or I did need it if you're hungry, whatever. So 3 is about new beginnings and the way you communicate. And there is the trap of going into this jaded and kind of state. I don't want to deal with this. It's gross. Deal with what comes your way. Just accept responsibility and you'll get a lot out of it. If you don't engage with what comes your way, then these other rams are just going to bulldoze you over. So have a great day. You're certainly going to be empowered here. I mean, Aries is the first sign in astrology. It's fire. So we've got fire and earth. And when you heat up earth, you get things that are rock hard. So earth diamonds, really abundant, invincible, and long-term. Have a great day. If you would like a private reading with me, then please go to my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, there's a book your reading now button. Just click on that to book your appointment with me, or click on the shop tab to order the reading. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, I use astrology and numerology. So if you have any questions for the future, or what your best way forward is, or what's going on with a certain situation that's already in your life, then do get in touch for a personal reading. I'm available all the time, so whenever you want to speak to me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Check out the weekly horoscope, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.